Good evening, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Reverse Aging Call with I-hercules. It is May 14th, 2021, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. That we're so preoccupied in this outer world that we don't really pay much attention until the time comes where we're forced to, as far as paying attention to our bodies. Now, understanding how circulation works. If you look at, and it's important that we understand this because I think a lot of people, microcirculation, right? And do we know what macrocirculation is? Macrocirculation is a circulation of the blood to and from the organs. Okay? Macrocirculation is the circulation of blood to and from the organs. Now, we have micro vessels, and this is important for all of us, really. This is about getting to know our bodies, and connected to I-hercules. The vessels on the arterial side of microcirculation are called the arterioles, which are well innervated and are surrounded by smooth muscle cells, and are 10 to 100. And it's a measurement, and it's a real, it's in diameter, in diameter. The arterioles carry the blood to the capillaries, which are not innervated and have no smooth muscle, and are about 5 to 8 in diameter, which is really small. Blood flows out of the capillaries into the venules, which have little smooth muscle, and are about 10 to 200 of them. The blood flows from the venules into the veins. The meta-arterioles connect arterioles and capillaries. A tributary to the venules is known as thoroughfare channel, which makes a lot of sense. The microcirculation has three major components: precapillary, capillary, and postcapillary. And in the precapillary sector, arterioles and precapillary sphincters participate. Sphincters, flexing, okay. Their function is to regulate blood flow before it enters the capillaries and venule by the contraction and relaxation of the smooth muscle found on their walls. So the second sector is the capillary sector, which is represented by the capillaries, where substance and gas exchange between blood and interstitial fluid takes place. So finally, the postcapillary sector is represented by the postcapillary venules, which are formed by a layer of endothelial cells that allow free movement of some substances. So the microanatomy, which we're talking about, in our bodies, which is absolutely imperative to be healthy. It's 75% of what the body relies on. Most vessels of the microcirculation are lined with flattened cells of the endothelium, and many of them are surrounded by contractile cells called pericytes. The endothelium provides a smooth surface for the flow of blood and regulates the movement of water and dissolved materials in the interstitial plasma between the blood and the tissue. Now, the endothelium also produces molecules that discourage the blood from clotting unless there is a leak. Pericyte cells can contract and decrease the size of the arterioles and thereby regulate blood flow and blood pressure. So, in addition to these blood vessels, the microcirculation also includes lymphatic capillaries and collecting ducts. And the main functions of the microcirculation are the delivery of oxygen and nutrients and the removal of carbon dioxide, CO2, okay? Those are the main functions of our microcirculation. It's the delivery of oxygen and nutrients and the removal of carbon dioxide. It also serves to regulate blood flow and tissue perfusion, thereby affecting blood pressure and responses to inflammation, which can include edema, swelling. Now, how many people have you heard, or maybe yourself, where you experience edema, swelling, inflammation? You see how important microcirculation is? Now, the regulation of tissue perfusion occurs in microcirculation. These arterioles control the flow of blood to the capillary. The arterioles contract and relax, varying their diameter and vascular tone as the vascular smooth muscle responds to diverse stimuli. Now, distension of the vessels due to increased blood pressure is a fundamental stimulus for muscle contraction in the arteriolar walls. And as a consequence, microcirculation blood flow remains constant despite changes in the systemic blood pressure. Now, this mechanism is present in all tissues and organs of the human body. And in addition, the nervous system participates in the regulation of microcirculation. So the sympathetic nervous system activates the smaller arterioles, including terminal, the noradrenaline. Okay? The noradrenaline and the adrenaline have effects on the alpha and beta adrenergic receptors. Other hormones, the catecholaminé, the renin, the angiostensin, the vasopressin, and the arterial natriuretic peptide. They circulate in the bloodstream and can have an effect on the microcirculation, causing vasodilation or vasoconstriction. So that means the vessels constrict or they relax and become dilated. Many hormones and nutripeptides are released together with the classical neurotransmitters. Now, the arterioles respond to metabolic stimuli that are generated in the tissues. So when the tissues' metabolism increases, catabolic products accumulate, leading to vasodilation. The endothelium begins to control muscle tone and anteriolar blood flow tissue. The endothelial function and the circulation includes the activation and inactivation of circulating hormones and other plasma constituents. There are also synthesis and secretion of vasodilator and vasoconstrictor substances for modifying the width of the vessel as necessary. And variations in the flow of blood that circulates by arterioles are capable of responses in the endothelium. So the capillary exchange, the term capillary exchange refers to all the exchanges at microcirculatory level, most of which occur in the capillaries. And these are sites where material exchange occurs between the blood tissue and the blood and the tissues are the capillary, which branch out to increase the swap area and minimize the diffusion distance, as well as maximize the surface area and the exchange time. Approximately 7% of our body's blood is in the capillaries, which continuously exchange substances with the liquid outside these blood vessels, called interstitial fluid. This dynamic displacement of materials between the interstitial fluid and the blood is named capillary exchange. These substances pass through capillaries through three different systems or mechanisms: diffusion, bulk flow, and transcytosis, or vesicular transport. In other words, through the vessels, the fluid is transported. The liquid and solid exchanges that take place in the microvasculature particularly involve capillaries and most capillary venules and collecting venules. Capillary walls also, they allow the free flow of almost every substance in plasma. The plasma proteins are the only exception, as they are too big to pass through. The minimum number of unabsorbable plasma proteins that exit capillaries enter lymphatic circulation for returning later on those blood vessels. Now, those proteins, which leave capillaries, use the first capillary exchange mechanism in the process of diffusion, which is caused by kinetic motion of molecules. Now, these exchanges of substances are regulated by different mechanisms, and these mechanisms work together and promote capillary exchange in the following way. First, molecules that diffuse are going to travel a short distance thanks to the capillary wall, the small diameter and the close proximity to each cell having a capillary. The short distance is important because the capillary diffusion rate decreases when the diffusion distance increases. Then, because of its large number, 10 to 14 million capillaries, there is an incredible amount of surface area for exchange. However, this only has 5% of the total blood volume, 250 milliliters to 5,000 milliliters. And finally, blood flows more slowly in the capillaries given the extensive branching. So you start to understand how important, and you can go into really detailed analysis and description and definition of what this microcirculation is. Remember, macrocirculation is blood flow between organs. Microcirculation really is, if we did not have microcirculation in the body, we would not be able to stay in the body, period. So when you look at I-hercules as this formula, so that we can start adding more in-depth understanding of exactly what is it doing to the body, okay? So the microcirculation and the reverse aging, biological reverse aging in the body. So as the body regenerates, because everything that we use, everything, currently, is to help the body heal. That's what it's all about. So when you take the I-hercules, it literally allows the body to heal itself. That's why we've had some people that have eliminated type 2 diabetes, because it allowed the body to heal itself. It helped the body through the microcirculation. And the telomere. And the telomeres are, they're our time clock. They're our measuring stick for our bodies. That's it. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just go, pull up the telomeres now in my body, let's see what their condition is. Wouldn't that be great? And then you could see. It would give you a healthy telomere, and then it would give you kind of average, and then an unhealthy, which means it's aging very rapidly. So as it ages very rapidly, because it does after a while, and those legs, they shrink, they shorten. And so when that happens, you begin to realize that my body's, it's disintegrating, rotting away, and that's the blunt way to put it, because that's what happens to our bodies. They rot away. So is this a natural process? No, it is not. Not at the speed rate that we have these bodies currently, where you're really fortunate if you make it to 95. Fraction of the percentage of the population make it to 120, maybe 18. Very few. So think about that. That's short time. And the deterioration and quality of life of the body goes right down the toilet. So what is the quality of life? What do you think that we have? How many years do you guys think that we have, really, truly, as far as quality of life? How many years do you think that before things deteriorate? Eyesight starts to fail. Teeth start to deteriorate. Hair, skin, nails, muscles. I've said this before, at the age of 70, this is ridiculous too. As far as I'm concerned, it's absolutely ridiculous. At the age of 70, we lose 70% of our muscle mass. And it's like, some of you might have noticed that you get to a certain point and your rear end's gone, so to speak. Not literally, but you just say, well, I lost my rear end. It's not there anymore. Because there's nothing there but air. Because we lose our muscle. The glutes, the gluteus maximus, your bum, is a lot of muscle in it, say. And so people wonder, well, why do I lose my rear? Because you lose muscle. 70% goes. And that's the average. So then what happens? Well, we don't maneuver as well. We don't have the strength. We have to be much more careful, because then we get brittle bones, weak bones, because it all just goes to hell in a handbasket, and that's the truth. And we're all sitting around trying to figure out, how are we going to stop this process? How do we stop it? And that's on a lot of people's minds right now as I'm sharing this with all of you. How do we stop it? What's the avenue? Well, if you guys have deep pockets, you can go out and spend several $100,000, and you could get access to biological reverse aging application, period. But you'd have to spend that forever. You're not going to be able to, just take it and then forget about it, and then have it stay that way and sustain the body. So it has to be applied continuously. Now, there are some people that do, 90 years old and they look 50. Right? Their skin is smooth. They don't have the elasticities there, the flexibility, the whole 9 yards. So when you begin to realize that we have avenues, and one of them that's the most affordable and easily accessed by the people of planet Earth is I-hercules. Its formulation affords youthfulness. And through the microcirculation, as I just gave you kind of a heads up, 101 on more on microcirculation and macrocirculation, the way it begins to move through the body. You spray it in the mouth, it goes into the bloodstream. That's pretty easy. It's the only one of its kind, by the way, guys. The formulation that it is composed of is the only one of its kind. Right now at this time on this planet. And I've had people say, well, I could get all those extracts and I can copy it. No, you can't. It isn't a kitchen combination. You can't sit there and copy it. It won't work. So, especially to try to get a hold of the strain of the astragalus and concentration of it, measurement of it in the formula, you're not going to be able to do it. Not unless you have lots of money and know lots of people that formulate. And even then, it's questionable. So you can see that the mission here for all of us that want to save lives, which are everybody, which is parts of ourselves, and improve the quality of life of people that have hit the 90s, the 80s, this early to late 70s that are, they're starting to know that the body's telling them, certain little things here and there. But isn't it assuring that there's one common denominator with I-hercules? It's one thing. And the one thing is, it cannot not reverse the biological age of anyone's body. It cannot not. It's so proven. It is so, etched in stone because of the scientific research over the last 400 years plus. Yeah, that's how long they've been looking and studying different extracts, applications, plants. And that's just in the last 400 years. On this planet, they've been studying it for thousands of years. And we haven't even scratched the surface on the different applications to keep ourselves young, vibrant, healthy, happy, energetic, good eyesight, strong muscles and bones. That's what this is about. And I think people get to the point where they go, oh, well, it's just another one of those run-of-the-mill formulas. It doesn't really do anything. That's wrong. And to get it in everybody's hands on the planet. That's the point. Because we're seeing miraculous things that are happening with people's bodies. And they're not making them up. Because I've seen enough pictures to know that this stuff is really changing, literally changing people's bodies, biological functions, organs, everything that soul is in, that body is it's actually regenerating itself. And I-hercules, it's a lifetime protocol, unless you want to age rapidly. That's anybody's choice. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I think the majority of people on this planet do not care to age. Why would they want to age? They can still experience. So it's kind of like, imagine this. Imagine the people that say, I'm going to wait and see what it does for you. While they're waiting, you're getting younger, when they could have been getting younger along with you. Isn't that amazing? But that's the way, everybody has their different perspectives. And so, I'm going to see how, it does. Now, another thing that you got to be really zeroed in on, immune system, right? What do you think I-hercules does when it reverses the biological aging of the body? It helps the body improve its immune system. In fact, over a period of time, greatly. Now, what's so important about our immune system? Well, I'll tell you right now, okay? if your immune system was functioning as it was designed to do in the beginning with your body, there wouldn't be any vaccine or anything that they could do to the body that would affect the body. The immune system would be so strong. The antibodies would be so strong and so numerous that they would literally tear apart anything that tried to invade your body. That's a fact. Okay? So we know that by accelerating the immune system by certain different experiments, that you now understand how it works, okay? When you cut yourself, you heal. We take that for granted, say. We just all take it for granted. Well, I cut myself and eventually it heals. And it does heal. And depending on the health of the immune system, it depends on how fast it heals. Okay? So, now a lot of people's immune systems are compromised on this planet, in this country. Why? Well, their diet, the water they drink, okay, the atmosphere, the off-gassing in their homes of all the materials that were when the house was built. It's another thing you have to understand is that the off-gassing in homes is forever, just like it is in vehicles. The off-gassing is forever. So you're breathing in toxic materials they're molecular. They're like quantum level. You can never see them, but you're breathing them in. And it's penetrating through your skin. And, people say, well, I have wooden floors. Sure. All right. They engineered, so they have chemicals. When you talk about engineered wood floors, there's chemicals in them. And they're off-gassing into the room. And you see, all of these things play important roles on how well you are. Just to become knowledgeable of that. So when you're talking about the immune system, the I-hercules, and you improve the immune system, improve it. We know that we can improve the immune system to such an extent that you could actually take a scalpel and cut your forearm and watch it heal as soon as you're cutting it. It's not unusual really, because our immune system, we heal anyway. Yeah, now you cut yourself on a forearm, it's going to take longer to heal, obviously. It's not going to heal immediately, but that's at the current level of the immune system. So the immune system is paramount for our organs, for the proper functioning and the health of our bodies. And a lot of us just have really severely compromised immune systems. We have, for instance, okay, people get chemo and it burns the immune system. What does that mean? Well, it destroys it. Basically to the level that it's there, but it's really not capable of doing much at all. Okay? So that's why people have to be very careful when they go into remission with cancer. And that doesn't last long in most cases. But when they go into remission, they've been radiated and burned with chemo. They got to be careful not to get sick, catch cold, flu. Because it's much more impactful on them because their immune system has been burned out. You see the barbarity of the structure on this planet towards the people. So this is all about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. People say, I don't want to know about all that crap. Give me a pill, fix me. Isn't that right? That's pretty much the mentality, isn't it? Give me a pill, fix me. Hey, doc, I need a pill, fix me. But if our immune systems were at high level, you wouldn't need a pill to fix you. And plus, the pill they give you is so chemical, it's so toxic. Antibiotics that they have are so toxic, you would be blown away to know the level of toxicity in antibiotics. And so people, they prescribe them and you take them. And what happens is that the body builds up, guess what? An immunity towards the antibiotics. Seriously, an immunity because it attacks them. Isn't that interesting? Your immune system, the antibodies in your natural body flow attack the antibiotic, okay? And also what happens is that what happens? The viruses that get into the body build up also a resistance to those antibiotics. So they're a synthetic antibody, is what they are, that you add to the body, the system. It's supposed to help you heal. Well, if you look at the duration on any of that stuff, it's 10 days. I guarantee it's 10 days. Take it for 10 days, and you'll be fine. So with the mind and how we look at things, then you go, oh, well, that's great. That's really great. So I-hercules is much more than just some liquid, brown liquid that you spray in your mouth. And then you just go, oh, well, I guess it's going to do something. You really don't have any expectations or attachments because you already know, scientifically proven for decades, that this formula will reverse the biological aging of your body 150%. That's a given. And that's really something that people know that they're aware of that. And that they, and people could go through volumes of scientific proof. Volumes of it. But here's another twist to it. When you hold a bottle of I-hercules in your hand, and think about this. Now, not everybody is this in tune with their bodies and with the God within them. But when you hold a bottle of I-hercules, now all you know is that it reverses the biological aging of your body. But when you hold it, it has a frequency. It has a vibrational frequency. That doesn't lie or deceive. And you'll feel it through the heart. You'll feel it. Not the head, you'll feel it through the heart. When you hold it and you bring it to your chest. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Try it. You'll see. Now, a lot of this muscle testing that goes on out there. Well, this test said that it's not good for my body. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you something. And caution is important here, because when you're told something by an external authority, doesn't have to be human at all, but an external authority. When it tells you that what it recommends, doesn't recommend for your body, it's an external authority. So when you choose to believe it, you'll create it. That's what you have to be careful about. It's like when I used to do readings years ago and astrology. And I would do psychic readings and all kinds of stuff. But there's one common denominator, there's one factor in there. When you tell people that something's going to happen and they believe it, they're going to create it. And that's what I found that was happening with people. I would have men and women, mostly the women would ask me when they're going to meet the man, their dreams. When is that going to happen? I'm tired of, dating frogs. And so you tell them and you give them a broad view. And believe it or not, about 95% of them created exactly what I told them it was going to happen. See, that gets real, that gets a little dicey. So you got to be careful with these external evaluations of your body. Because you should be able to know about your body enough where you'll feel, period, not through the ego mind, but through the heart mind, what's happening. You'll know something's going on. It's not going to be earth-shattering and, 3 weeks, I look 20 years younger. It's going to vibrate your frequency that you'll pick up with this I-hercules is in the body. And it's circulating on a microcirculation throughout the body. Now, what happens when the microcirculation improves greatly? What do you think happens? The nutrients, as I just shared with you, and the vascular improvement, and the vessels. This is why people have, what is it called? That word always skips me for some reason. The lack of circulation in the toes and the feet, lack of circulation in the fingers, okay? Necropic or anyway, it's when your microcirculation is not healthy. Now, this could go on for years until it gets to the point where you get like a shattering effect, and then you have those microcirculation feather vessels basically shut down in different parts of the body. Now, you're going to know it immediately. They get clogged, they get debrided, the blood gets too thick and toxic, and it doesn't move. And you heard me that the vasodilation and the constriction is important. So the microcirculation, it it measures and it adjusts the blood flow. And see, the thinner the blood, the healthier the body. And you'd be surprised how many of us don't have healthy blood. Now, you could work out, exercise, eat organics, raw, everything, but if you get a full series of blood tests, blood work, and you'll go, what? This is happening, this is going on, that's going on, that going on, this is going on. And the reason is that your microcirculation is in bad shape. And it can get in bad shape. Look how long it takes for our arteries to clog to the point where some of us it causes issues, cardiovascular issues, heart issues, damaged hearts, bypassed arteries. So the microcirculation, and this is I-hercules. This is part of it. See? Now, if you looked at, let's say, well, how can I boost I-hercules? Some people want to boost it. Well, if you want to boost it, then add pure liquid gold to it. So you use the liquid gold to boost the effects of the I-hercules because the liquid gold works on the circulation, thinning of the blood, detoxification, nutrition to the blood vessels and the capillaries. We hit on that in the beginning with I-hercules and said, no, you don't need to take the liquid gold. The I-hercules has liquid gold in it, but that's right, it does. But if you want to boost it, then you add the liquid gold with it. And that's what it does. It boosts I-hercules. So you're putting more liquid gold, even though the base of I-hercules is liquid gold, our first product, with the reverse aging properties added to it. So everybody's looking for a way to boost anything, so that will boost the I-hercules. Okay? And I'll tell you, our blood, the thinness of the blood and the color of the blood, vibrantly bright red. You know why that is? Because it's well oxygenated. Now, when you cut your finger or something and the blood kind of, have you ever done this? And the blood just kind of beads out slowly. It doesn't bleed a lot. It beads out slowly. And the blood isn't vibrantly bright red. It's kind of darker. It's still red, but it's not that vibrantly bright red. And that's because the toxicity is so heavy in your blood that it thickens the blood. And it's harder for the body to move that blood that's low oxygenated as well. See? So there's two key factors in our bodies, right? Inside our bodies, it's an inveritable utopia for mold. It's always dark, moist, warm, period. Actually, it's dark, wet, and warm all the time. See? So you figure this out. All of us in these bodies, thanks to genetic manipulation, we carry dormant cancer cells. All of us, really, seriously. And when people come down with cancer, why is it? Why does that happen? Why do people have cancer? Because there's two denominators, two key determining factors. One, oxygen blood. Oxygen in the body, inside your body, assimilation of it, distribution of it, absorption of it, at the molecular level is compromised. That's number one. And then guess what happens when that happens? The immune system begins to weaken. So it's like a cascading effect. So when the oxygen content in the body drops to a dangerous level consistently, then what happens is that the cancer cells that are dormant come alive. They will break out in the weakest part of your body. And that's where it will grow. And, of course, it will continually compromise the immune system because the immune system is already sick and weak, so it doesn't have a chance to fight it off. And this is what happens to people. Then when you look at the barbaric application, let's burn it and radiate it. Okay? Burn it and radiate it. And look what it does to the body. Oh, who cares about the body? It's not under any stress or trauma right now with the cancer. we're going to add to its stress because that really, literally stresses the body to the ultimate levels. Now picture what happens there. It also reduces your oxygen level even more and destroys the immune system. It's insane. So, now you do the flip side. I keep my body young biologically. I won't have these issues. That's right. Because your microcirculation improves, gets healthier, oxygen flow, your oxygen level in the body picks up, goes to healthy levels. The body helps with the immune system on regenerating it, getting it to a much stronger level. The heart and all the organs. It affects the macro circulation, the blood distribution between the organs. That's macro, as I said. So when you start to realize this, and you begin to understand it, all of us, each of us, you don't need to rely on external authority. You don't need to rely on someone telling you, well, ooh, you got this. Ooh, you've got that. Oh, no, you've got this. Well, let's get the chemical basket out. Okay? And then you've got side effects. And the only reason we have side effects with these chemicals is because the body doesn't like them. They are foreign invaders. They are synthetic. They are not organic. And the body attacks them. The immune system attacks them. So you can see why people that are on a lot of medications have a compromised system. That's why if they pick up a virus, a flu or a cold, it can have serious complications with them. Say? You ever heard of, an advanced aged person, body-wise? They get the flu and they don't make it. They leave the body. Or they get a cold and they don't make it. They leave the body. So imagine if you knew exactly to a certain degree what was going to happen to your body if you just ignored it. Well, your quality of life would go right down the toilet. You'd end up with a walker if you lived that long, and you would have to be relying on others to take care of you. Does that sound fun? Does that sound exciting? Oh, boy, I can't wait. I'll have people taking care of me. I won't be able to walk. I have to use a walker because my muscle mass is just about gone, and all I am is skin and bone. Do you ever notice how people, when the body gets to a certain age, they're thin as they turn sideways, they disappear? That's in most cases. Their appetites change and everything. And guess what? Now, that is, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put your body through that. You can keep your body from deteriorating to that level. That's with I-hercules, that's phenomenal. That's why every time I spray it, I am in the deepest of gratitude that it was formulated and made affordable enough for about 99% of the people. It's just, to me, it's just, we've got people in Europe ordering 36, 80, 90 bottles, period. We've got people in this country that are ordering them in droves. Because guess why? Because they know that it is a phenomenal invention. It's a discovery that is going to change anybody that uses it. And it'll change their bodies in a very good way, uplifting way. You guys have heard me, I kind of coined it the youth wave, the emotional wave that people get. Some people spray I-hercules just in the beginning. And the first few days, then they get these youth waves. And what they are is they're emotional wave that when you're using I-hercules, either at the beginning, somewhere it happens. It's just different for everybody. But you get this wave, it's a youth wave. It's kind of euphoric. And it's like you feel literally young, and it's reminiscent. It's kind of like, this feeling I'm getting, it's the same feeling I had 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And it's a youth wave. It's the emotional energies, frequencies of the body saying, thank you. Thank you for helping me heal myself. And so it's kind of like these are some of the benefits that you experience with committing to using the iHercules. So and everybody's going to be experiencing it. It's like I said, we've had people that couldn't really walk. Now they're walking and jogging. We've got people with type 2 diabetes that they literally, through the iHercules, the body healed them and they don't have it. I mean, we've got people that had stroke issues, fatigue problems, eyesight problems, and the body has healed it through the application of iHercules. I mean, circulation, swelling, edema, strength factors, stamina factors, hair, changing back to its youthful color, nails, skin. Now, sometimes, some people say, well, it looks like I'm aging. It looks like my body's aging more than it was, more than the age was. And that happens, too, because of the recycling in the system in your body and the restructuring from aging to de-aging, to reverse aging. So the body goes through these cycles and these different steps for some of us. But the vibrance, the energy, the bones, your marrow, all of the oxygenation that increases, you can't help but to get these youth waves. And not only that, guys, have you ever known of anything, right? A spray, a brown liquid, because that's what it is, brown looking, kind of a reddish brown. And you took that, and you've got a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old pet. That's when, and I know a lot of people have pets. When you have a pet, that pet is a family member. There's no doubt about it, okay? And the synergy and the frequency and the love that we have for our pets and they for us. So we would like to keep them around because to us, 17 years, that's most of us at 17 are teenagers. We're still wet behind the ears, so to speak, in most cases. But when you realize that when you spray this with the animals, they start acting young again. Their attitude, their personality, their eyes, the brightness, the energy in their eyes, they're starting to say, oh, wait a minute here. I may not have to leave this body for quite a long time. This is great. So then they start celebrating. Now, their metabolism rates in most cases are dogs and cats are like 5 times faster. Horses, they're like a couple times faster. But you start to realize is that I can reverse the aging on my pets. My cats, the dogs, the horses, any pet. Really, seriously. I don't even care if it's a snake. It'll affect them as it affects us. Biological life form. That's what we all are on this planet, right? Our consciousness takes different forms. So when you reverse the biological aging, you get better. You can't. You can't not get better. And I will bet you that those in their 80s, 90s, and maybe a few in their early hundreds, they stay on this stuff, they're going to experience an absolute field day of, in the long run, positive results from the reverse aging properties of iHercules. Keep the circulation healthy. Keep the micro circulation healthy. Therefore, the healthier your circulation, the healthier the body. The slower the circulation, the sluggish, the more tired you get, the less oxygen you get. It affects all the organs, all the tissues, the interstitium. It affects it all. So that's why I emphasize the power in that gold spray bottle that you're holding. is off the charts. And I don't think people really begin to understand that. I think it takes a bit. I think we got to be careful of how our minds operate, because they cannot be allowed to master us. We must be able to master our minds and ego so that they become our allies and great servants. So it has an effect, because when you using iHercules and you say, I'm not doing anything. I've been on 4 months, hadn't done anything for me. That is the most idiotic statement one can make to themselves. It really is, okay? And no disrespect meant to the people that say that. But when you think about that, and with all of the hard evidence of this formula reversing the biological age of your body, there's no way it's not. That's it, period. You'd have to be an automatron, okay, with a plasma cell that ran you in order for it not to work. It won't work on mechanicals and stuff. It's biological that it works on. So why do you think our first product we named Liquid Gold? That's how valuable the Liquid Gold product is. And then you add the iHercules to the Liquid Gold, and then if you want to boost that, then you add more Liquid Gold. So you've got an absolute, let's put it this way, a reverse aging cabinet with these products at your disposal. And you're just not going to get younger. See? That's why I get a kick out of the most cynical people, is that, maybe it works for you, but nothing works for me. No matter what I do, nothing works for me. And you know what's funny about that? They believe it and they deter, and it affects the efficacy and the impact of anything. Okay, that's how powerful we are. So, but when you stop and you let go of all of that rhetoric and all of that negativity, and you just you feel the body. Have you sat and felt your body since you've been on iHercules? Have you really just kind of been alone, sat still, breathed? And that's another thing, guys. Our breath is absolutely divine positive energy, and we take it for granted. You know that most Americans barely breathe? Did you know that? Most of the time during the course of the day, most of us barely breathe. It's called shallow breathing, and some of us at times will stop breathing during the course of the day. We were not meant to be sedentary, okay? And what does that mean? We were not meant to sit for hours. It's very, very hard on the body. Why? Well, can you imagine when you're sitting in front of a computer for hours and hours and hours? And most people in this country do that. Now that we have PCs that are affordable and have been for all the households and everything. So you start to realize that what happens when you sit for a long period of time? Your blood starts to coagulate. See. Now, most people, blood's already thick and toxic. They don't know it. So you imagine what that does to somebody who's already got thick and toxic blood and they don't know it. Ooh, it's not good. It's not good at all. That's why you should always be using something. I highly recommend people to get something like these little electric, I use one, a little electric treadmill or a elliptical thing. And you keep the feet moving, keep the legs moving, keep it. And it's not meant to be a workout. It's meant to keep the blood flow in lower extremities in the body. And yeah, we've got to incorporate this stuff. Why? Because we never have before. That's why there's so many sick people in this country and on this planet, because they don't have the knowledge of their own bodies, and they've been relying on literal witch doctor medicine, allopathic, witch doctor medicine. Right? Pump your body, write a prescription, pump your body full of chemicals, and try to artificially sustain its life. And after a while, it takes it. Yeah, you can get somebody to live to 90, 93 or so, but they're just loaded with chemicals and their quality of life just sucks. I know, I was witness to that. So there's so many preventative, intelligent applications that we can employ for ourselves that stops this. That why would we allow ourselves to deteriorate so much, and then rely on a stranger to know about our bodies? See, you can know about the anatomy, and that's what most medical doctors, they go to med school, and they learn about the anatomy of the body, and they learn about the different organs, and they learn about the blood flow, circulatory system, and everything. Kind of 101 for the general practitioner. Then you have specialists in certain areas where they emphasize more and extend more on the knowledge of the different functions of your organs and the body, bodily fluids and everything, and that's it. See? And I'll guarantee you, most of the time, it's trial and error, because they don't know what's wrong with you. So what do? They run a blood test. And the blood tests are not always conclusive, period. There's margins of errors in that stuff. And I think people are exact. No, they're not totally exact. So when you have all this stuff going on, and we know because, millions of us have gone through that gambit. And millions of us aren't in the body anymore. So this is the direction. This is part of the New Earth direction, guys. Reverse the biological age of my body. Stay mentally functioning and healthy, happy, vibrant, so that I could be 90 years old and I could be still a kid. And I can run or, walking is much better, much healthier for the body because of the lower impact. Running actually is horrible for the body. We weren't meant to run. We weren't built to run. Think about it, okay? You see some varmints like rabbits and stuff, they're built to be fast, to protect themselves. That's their defense in nature. But so you learn a lot from animals, too, on how they survive and what their areas of expertise are to protect themselves against predators. So you start to realize that your body, the knowledge of your body that you gain is imperative. And it doesn't take years and years. You just start researching and understanding, feeling through the heart-mind, feeling how your body is. You talk to your body. How are you doing this morning, body? How are we doing? I love you because you're carrying me around. And without you, I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. And that's important that we do that, because the higher the frequency. Have you ever, think about this. Have you ever looked in the mirror, stared at the light within you through your eyes, and said through your heart-mind how much you love you? You will get a feeling, a frequency that's phenomenal right through your heart, right in the chest. If you did that, now imagine if we did that on a regular basis. Not, I don't like looking at myself, I'm too old, I got wrinkles, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that. That is all material world. That's what grips us and tears at us and pulls us in different directions, and the body suffers. You imagine if children were taught at a very young age what it's taken a lot of us, most of our lives, not all of us, but some of us, to learn about our bodies. It's absolutely pathetic in these Draco school systems that they have. They don't teach the young ones anything, really, much at all. And that's why they're so bored. And that's why then they get into grade school, then they get into, and I call it, not middle school, junior high, and then high school, and they just get bored. This is the same crap I've been learning, just different degrees for years. Because if we had the correct educational system on this planet, all the things that are happening now would have never have gained any ground. Not at all. Because the people would be much more awake, much more aware, and nip it in the bud before it got out of hand. Period. So see, the reverse aging has a lot of effect. Now, someone's 90 years old, and they peel off 30, 40, 50 years. Now, I've talked to some 90-year-olds, and I said, what would you do if you were 60? Heck, when I was 60, I ran circles around people half my age. Okay? And then the people 60, they say, man, if I was 30, when I was 30, I ran circles around people half my age, so they ran circles around 15-year-olds. You see how that works? It's just perspective that we put together in our minds. So the I-hercules is a new Earth application to get the population going in the right direction, which means we can heal our bodies, we can help our bodies heal our bodies. We can help our bodies heal the organs. We can help our bodies have really healthy circulatory system, macrocirculation, microcirculation. You know how important it is to have the blood flowing healthily, organ to organ? Because the organs talk to each other. They really do. The heart talks with the liver and the spleen, the kidneys and the pancreas, and they all carry on vibrational communication. So when that blood starts to slow and get thick and it starts to deteriorate and the body starts to break down and our tissues start to get weak, why do people have burst arteries, aneurysms? Because they get so darn weak. They don't have the strength. They can't withstand any of the stress, so they just kind of go, psh, that's it. It's like a lot of people, they'll have a coronary thrombosis, and I don't know if you know what that is, but it's when one of the major arteries in the heart gets weak, forms a blood sac on the outside of it, and then all of a sudden, it'll explode, and it's instantaneously, you got to leave the body, because the body's over. That's how quick. So now when you know this stuff, you start saying, I'm making sure that my arteries are clean, strong, non-toxic, and my micro and macro circulations are super healthy, so that as that blood flows, and that my blood is vibrantly red and well oxygenated, and it's thin, see, because it's not carrying the toxins. And by continuing with the protocol, what you're doing is you're eliminating toxins on a daily basis, so they never have a chance to build up in your blood again. It's stupendous. The application itself, I'm more excited about it than when I first started using it. It's not old. It's not, the civilization loses its attention span very quickly. It gets tired and bored with things. And that's the ego mind, because the ego mind is never satisfied. And that's why we take so many things for granted. And that's why we get bored, because of the ego mind's running us. It's mastered us. And it tells us what to do. Oh, that's not enough. You've got to do more. I got to find something better than this. Or I got to make myself better. I'm not thankful and grateful for exactly the way I am right now. All these things, they're all connected. The emotion, the emotion and the biological. The biological and the emotion, both of them. Okay? They're synergistic. So if you have, you're irritable and you're stressed all the time and you're worried and you're lethargic and you're tired, and you ignore it because you don't want to deal with it, that really affects the body. The blood's sluggish, and the toxicity, and the circulation, and that's why people lose circulation in their feet, their toes, their hands, their fingers, different parts of the body. The microcirculation is putrid. It's not good at all. Now, if a doctor said to you, right, external authority, right, comes up to you and says, well, Bill, your microcirculation really sucks. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you don't improve it, you're going to have to leave the body. Okay. What do you think Bill's going to do? Well, Doc, can't you give me anything to fix it? Yeah. Give me something to fix it. What pills, what prescription can you give me to fix it? What do I have to do to fix it, to change it? You turn around and say, well, you got to improve, you got to reverse the aging of your body. Our bodies, you know, the old Timex, did you remember the old Timex commercials, right? That those watches at that time were made in good old America. Okay. It keeps a licking and keeps on ticking. Timex. Do you have one? And it's just like our bodies. Our bodies keep on ticking and they take a licking and keep on ticking. But after a while, they take such a licking, they stop ticking. And then we have that situation with our bodies where we're going, something's not right. You ever done that? You ever just been kind of going along through the day, and then the body says, we're not doing too good? Have you had that happen? And it's subtle. It's not something, you know, earth-shattering, but you know. You just feel it. The body's talking to you. We got to do something about this. We got to fix this. And then you start talking with your body, say, body, what's going on here? And you innately will know. You'll gravitate to it. You'll just know. It won't be, you know, like on the wall picture writing, but you'll know. And you'll know, I got to do something about this. I got to shift this. I got to change it. So our bodies talk to us 24/7. When we wake up, they go, doesn't it make sense that you say, good morning, body? How you doing? You know, I am so grateful to be inside you. And thank you so much for carrying me around and allowing me to do the things I can do with you. Now, how many people do that? You know, oh, that's just stupid. You crazy? You know, body will take care of itself. You don't need to give it really much attention. Have someone else do it. That's what they go to school for. So the reader said, now, guys, there's going to be other formulas down the road. All right? This is just the beginning. Okay? I've talked to you guys about the spray, right? For the mouth, for the teeth. I've also talked to you, I think I talked about this once, an atomized spray that you apply to the body that fixes all the wrinkles, all of the sagginess and everything. As soon as you apply it, penetrates the skin and through the bloodstream, and your flexibility of your skin starts to lift up. So all the saggy skin on the face and the arms and the legs and everything goes away. And this is not a chemical, by the way. It is a biologic, okay? And if people would understand that they took that away from the civilization a long time ago, because we haven't even scratched the surface on the absolute wonderful medicinal qualities of what this mother, this planet, has for us. Everything we need is this, but not these chemicals. That's a cheat. That's a money-making juggernaut. That's all that is. It's a cheat. You know, and the natural process of our bodies loves biologicals. So you don't be surprised, because just on our end, we will be formulating stuff that is going to just knock your socks off. But this is the I-hercules is a phenomenal introduction of the reverse aging of your body. And it also sets up the understanding and the belief mechanism of the people of the planet that are on I-hercules, and if I had my way, everybody on the planet would be on it right now. So, but the whole purpose of it is that you begin to learn that these applications are all geared to one thing: helping the body heal itself. That's what they're geared for. What does iHercules do? It helps the telomeres. It reverses their age. And what's actually doing that? Your body. It affects the telomeres, the stem cells, the mitochondria, the quark, right down to the micro-quantum level. And remember, everything in our bodies have their own consciousness. Isn't that amazing? Every particle in our body have their own consciousness. You don't think the organ has its own consciousness? It does. Now, that's why when we talk about is that we're all of us have the divine perfection inside these bodies. So the soul, the God, in the body, the pure consciousness, is divine perfection. It doesn't change. And so you understand that all of the parts, the cells, the capillaries, the vessels, all of them have their own consciousness. Do you think that the capillaries and the white and red, the blood cells, do you think they just randomly flow through the body? No. They have a consciousness. They know what direction to go. They know their destination. They know. But then when they start getting starved of oxygen and toxicity and the blood starts getting thick, then it's a whole different ballgame. You imagine what thick blood does to your arteries and does to your eyesight and everything, because it can't get there. It's too thick. It can't go through the microcirculation system. It's too thick. So it coagulates and everything. A lot of times it can get so advanced that people have blood clots because their blood's too thick. And it coagulates, and it sets, and it pools. And the lack of oxygen, and all of those parameters, all of those applications, all of those determining factors, that's where people will get blood clots. Why do you think when people take Plavix and Coumadin, all of these blood thinners, chemicals, remind you, side effects? So when they do that, they affect all the arteries, all of the organs, all the tissues. They affect the interstitium. They affect everything. And so when that happens, the body has convulsions and different things happen. And some of them you don't even know exist. You don't even know they're going on in your body. So, when I have somebody say to me, and then this is what's happened today, people are no longer questioning the efficacy and the impact in a positive way of iHercules. All I'm hearing now is that people, I'm signing up, I'm going to get on iHercules. That's what I hear. I'm signing up, I'm going to get on iHercules. And if people were to understand is that, my budget and I'm a fixed income. Okay, that's great. But, we've got people giving bottles to people and here's a couple bottles, couple $100. Use it. It'll last you 20 days. Use it 4 sprays 3 times a day. They're not going to not feel the difference. Okay, so you've got 1 bottle lasts 10 days, 2 bottles last 20 days. That's with full dose. 1 bottle will last a month with 1 dose. So you kind of play with that and you start understanding. So then you say to people, look, this is probably the easiest way to generate additional income that you're ever going to come across, because you don't have to sell it. You show it. Have you ever had anything like that? You show it. What are you showing? You're the show. So that's why people are starting to take pictures of their bodies before they start, during the time and everything, the microcirculation. There's some of them on our website. There's one of a lady, and there's one of a gentleman, and you can see the microcirculation and the effects it's taken on their skin, their stature, their structure, their spine, bone, everything. You can just see it. So, we're like on the threshold of a magical shift for our bodies. And this iHercules is the primer. It sets it all off. So, when you start showing yourself, I have people saying that they have people come up to them and say, excuse me, can you tell me what you're doing? I'm not kidding you, because they feel the frequency. And they can see it in people's eyes and skin color, and you emit a different frequency. When you're tired, lethargic, stressed, you're going to find that people don't care to be around. But when you start glowing and your energy and your frequency starts going up because of the iHercules, it's a whole different ballgame, and people notice it. I've had people say to me, I'm not going to sell this. Okay, that's fine, but I highly recommend that you use it. So, okay, I'll go in, I'll sign up as a customer. Customer doesn't get commissions or anything. It just gives them access to the product, okay? So then, I kid you not, 3, 4, 5 days later, they contact me and say, how do I upgrade myself to activist? Because I just was in conversation with a couple of people, and they want to sign up now and get iHercules. That's how it's happening. That's how it's going on. Because there's nothing that can compare to it. It kicks the socks off of anything. Nothing can shine a light on it. It is that powerful and that unique. So I emphasize that so people keep that front and center, that this isn't an old used up formula. It is brand new. And it is, we haven't even put a dent in the awareness of the public. Not yet. We will. We will put a big dent in it for the awareness of the public. And then pretty soon it'll be just everybody. Are you using iHercules? Yeah. How do I get that? I've heard about it. I just didn't know how to get it. So we'll do some Q&A. Let's do that. Okie dokie. People get in there. Okie doke. Well, let's see. Nikki, you're on.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
It's so great.
How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than I was when I wrote you that email.
Good.
When I did that, I had absolutely zip energy. And today, the last 2 days, I've had more and more energy, and I've been able to walk again. I mean, sometimes I can't because I'm still a little bit challenged, but I feel really good about moving forward.
Oh, that's good.
And I do.
Oh, you there? You might have disconnected something. I've had that happen. I think we all have. 785-0036, you're on.
Yeah, this is Eunice.
Hi, Eunice. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been on iHercules for about 4 months now, and my skin, I'm about 80 years old, and my skin is thick. I used to go around the corner. Yeah, I used to go around the corner, and if I hit, I would just, when you get old, it just
bruise.
And even peel it off. And now it's thick.
Yeah,
it's exciting. Anyway, another thing I had a question was I get two iHercules a month. And this last time, I only got one. And I don't know, what do you do about that?
Well, you go into your back office where you see Manage Auto Ship, and that's on the left hand. Does it have two in the box?
It does.
Okay,
I got only one.
You got one. Is this just happened?
Yeah, I got it the day before yesterday.
Okay, so you only got one.
Yeah.
When you've gotten the two, or they come in the same package?
Right.
Okay. So what you want to do is I'd wait a couple of days and see if you get the second one. And if you don't, send the customer support, which is C as in cat, S as in Sam, at CS. C as in cat, C as in cat, S as in Sam, lowercase, at liquidgoldrx.com.
Okay.
And tell them, because it subtracts. It gives you an invoice, your shipment's on its way. And they email you and they let you know that, as you well know. So if that happens, and it could be a little glitch or something, tell them that you only received one bottle and you are on 2-bottle auto ship.
Yeah, okay.
And I wouldn't wait long. I would do it as soon, as you can. So I'd send them an email. You probably won't hear from them for a few hours or the next day, but you'll hear from them, and then they'll correct it if there's a glitch, and then they'll immediately get you the second bottle out.
Okay. And that's at CS at liquidgoldrx.com.
It might be new extracts. So it's CS at newextracts.com.
Okay, all right.
New, NUNUXTRAX.
All right.
So it's CS at newextracts, all one word, newextracts.com.
All lowercase.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
And then we want to make sure, obviously, you get the 2 bottles, but. Isn't that interesting? At 80, your skin, after 4 months, is thickening, because we all are thin. Our skin gets thin. as the body ages, and it gets vulnerable. We're not, and
right.
I'm sure you've experienced this as the body ages, that the tips of our fingers are a lot more sensitive as the skin thins to cold, like in the freezer, or hot things. We can't hold them as long. They're much more penetrating because our skin thins so much. And it's vulnerable, circulation system. But, it starts to thicken. On the top of the hands, you start noticing it.
I just can't get over it. I keep having to pinch myself because it's so thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Pretty exciting.
That is an absolute definitive that you're getting younger.
Really?
There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You are getting younger. It means that after 4 months that your biological age isn't 80. Yeah. It isn't 80. I'll guarantee you that. It's a lot younger. So as you continue,
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. So as you continue, you'll start seeing more effects on the surface outside of your body because you've got a lot that's been going on inside your body.
I think I've noticed it on my fingernails. I always have it's
splitting,
really
cracking,
weak, and real weak.
Yeah.
Now, man, they're getting stiff.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of us don't realize it, but you try to use your fingernail to do something, and before you could. Like pick something or press hard on something with your fingernail to try to open it or whatever. And then it bends back, weak.
Yeah.
It's not as strong, and it hurts because it bends back. And then it splinters, and it cracks.
Right, exactly.
And that's irritating, too, because it'll catch on things and stuff. And so, but the nails and the ribbing of our fingernails just starts to disappear. And they start getting harder, stronger. Now, what do you think that means?
I've seen that.
Yeah, but you know why? Because the body, since the biological age is reversing, is starting to produce more collagen. And so that's why the skin's getting thicker. That's why the nails are getting stronger. That's why a lot of things are happening on our bodies because the collagen production is starting to ramp up because of the biological reverse aging of the body. See, we lose collagen. And when we lose collagen, the skin sags, It's how we get jowls and we get the neck and the skin and it just sags. And so, but that starts to reverse because the collagen manufacturing in the body starts to increase. Obviously, when the biological aging is reversed on the body, things also get reversed. The body starts getting newer. And the things that we basically didn't have as much start to get it back. So collagen production starts to go up. The blood circulation, microcirculation. I mean, it's just a continual process. It's a cascading effect on the body. So everything is being affected. Everything in your body is being affected, which is now starting to show outside on the surface of the body.
Great. Anyway, I'm excited.
Hallelujah, young woman.
Yeah.
You're a young woman.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very much. Much love. 224-9899. You're on.
Oh, I don't think that's my number. I think I'm on though. It's Terry.
Is it Harry or Terry?
T with a T like Tom, but it's Terry.
Terry. Okay, so 224-9899. That's what I've got. So, how you doing?
Well, good, very well. Listen, I have a short administrative question. If you could do that for me. I enrolled somebody about a week ago, late at night, and I didn't recognize that there was a participant enrollment and an activist enrollment virtually next to each other. So I think what I did is I put him in as a participant because when I look online, that's what it shows the guy's name as, a participant. And my customer, right? But that was not my intent. So I wrote a short email, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, and I was asking if there was something I could do to repair that or to, correct it, and I haven't heard back. Do you know if I have to redo the whole thing, delete them, or what?
No, you don't. You don't have to redo it. So did you sign them up personally? Did you, give them a password, ID number, and everything? Okay. So what you want to do is see they signed up as a customer, and how much product did they buy?
They bought the $620 they spent.
Okay. So I believe that what you would want to do is you would upgrade them to activists. And you'll see that in the back office on the left column where the menu is, the dashboard.
Okay, there's a way to upgrade it up.
Yeah, they'll have to buy another package to upgrade. So to upgrade them to an activist, you will want to purchase another package.
So you're saying they have to spend another $620?
No, this is what I would suggest you do. Since you signed them up under $620 with the shipping, that's the $598 package with the 9 bottles.
Correct.
So to see, this is what I would do. I would contact customer support at newextracts.com. I would say, I meant to sign this person up as an active, and here's their name and ID. I would like them. I'd like to move them as an activist since they did purchase the $598 package.
Okay.
And I believe corporate. I think they'll say okay, and then they'll give you verification that that's been done and that individual is now an activist.
Very good.
Because you just signed them up, so it wasn't 2 months ago. You just signed them up. So
Monday, I believe, I signed them up.
Yeah. So that just for everybody. If that happens, and you're not the only one that's done that, so you just want to be on it and say, okay, they purchased the $598 package, $620 with shipping with 9 bottles. I meant to have them as an activist. I'd like to have them, moved over as an activist but just send their ID and their name. So that corporate knows who to look for, and they'll know that obviously that they signed up under you. But that should correct it, and you should be good to go.
All right, I did send an email on Wednesday, so I'm just going to be patient if they caught up with it.
Yeah, I'd send another one.
Okay.
Just send the same one, copy, paste, and send the same one.
All right, Jared, thanks, as always.
Much love to you, Terry. Thank you.
Oh.
360-2995. How are you?
Mr. Rand, how are you, sir?
I'm doing just absolutely finer than frog hair on a windy day.
Split 4 ways, I see. Outstanding.
You betcha.
With that being said, what happened is I'm officially under this guy named Gray Wolf 9044186. Do you know that guy?
You're very welcome. Yes, that'd be me.
Yeah, that is you. So basically,
yeah, that's the tribal association name. That's exactly right. You bet.
Outstanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, what I want to do, I can't remember with the 9-pack. I wanted to have it automatic. I got a budget where I can make that work. So I wasn't sure who do I get a hold of and find out if that is officially it's automatic.
On what?
Auto ship.
The auto ship?
Yeah,
it is automatic. Unless it's automatic when you sign up. It's already got a 1 in the box for 1 bottle a month of I-hercules.
Oh, okay. That's I did that. I couldn't understand what that was all about, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
right.
You can change the date too on the shipping. You go on your manage auto ship over on the left-hand side of your dashboard on the column there where all the information is. And you go in there where it says manage auto ship, and you can change the date. You can stall it, but you don't want to stall it because you'll become inactive. So, but yeah, you can add another bottle. I have people add 3-4 bottles a month in there. So that they are. You can multiply the bottles, whatever. You could put packages in there on auto ship. It's just up. We've got people that do, because they give it to other people, so they'll do the $2.99 on auto ship. So
okay, and whereabouts is that, real quick? I think I've been there before, but just give me a quick reminder.
It's let me see real quick here. It is. I can go there real quick. It is. Okay. There we go. Okie dokie. Okay, it's under order information.
Order information,
Yeah, yep. You go to dashboard, you go congratulations to leaders, corner, and purchase products, and then order information. You left click on order information, you'll get a menu, and the first one is Manage Auto Order.
Manage Auto Order.
Just left click on it.
It's on the left.
That's the left Manage side. Auto Order. Yeah, that left-hand gray column. Yeah.
Yes, I know. Okay, I know exactly in the left-hand column. Outstanding. Well, that's it for me today, sir. You have a good rest of the day and stay out of trouble, all right?
You too. Much love to you.
And I'm glad to see that.
Hope to hear from you. Thank you.
Take care, partner. Much love to you.
You too. You too. Why? 509-250, actually, 509-2644.
Yeah.
I know you're
Sorry
there.
about that.
There we go. Oh, I knew it. I knew you were muted. How you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm doing great. Hey, I just had a couple of questions. You were talking about when you were talking about the iHercules, and if you wanted to increase it to do the liquid gold with that, could you just increase the iHercules and not do the liquid gold, or is it better to do both?
No, I wouldn't. You don't need to increase the iHercules. You just add the liquid gold, and you're giving it just a boost. It's like a retro rocket.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the liquid gold is the boost. Okay. So you're boosting the liquid gold properties. You already have liquid gold with the iHercules reverse aging properties. You use the liquid gold as a supplement booster.
Okay. And now, do you do that at the same time as you do the iHercules, or in between?
Yeah, you could do the iHercules, and then you boost it like during the course of the day, a couple times a day.
Oh, okay.
So you don't do it. You don't do it right when you do the iHercules. You kind of like you do the iHercules in the morning, 15 minutes before you consume any food, and then afternoon, and then night. So you may do the liquid gold like at night, okay, just before you go to bed.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, and then you were talking about it boosting the immune system, and with the immune system, is that going to help you protect from the shedding of the jab, or is that something that we really have to worry about?
No, that yes, it will. Obviously, it's boosting the immune system, and the body's getting younger, so the immune system is more capable of fending off the liquid, their chemical attack on the bodies. So I would say to everybody that absolutely boosting the immune system is number one priority, naturally, without synthetics. And then I said, the Nexus Zapper is the one that will take care of the nanites and the nanobots that they put in those formulas.
Right, and I have that. Yeah, I have that ordered and coming. I'm the more research that I do, the more that they say, that you should be really worried about the shedding of people who have gotten the jab.
Well,
and
if you're not protected, sure. But see, you're emitting with the Nexus Zapper, you're emitting a high frequency. Okay? They're emitting a low frequency. The shedders, whatever you want to call it, the shedding. So let's say that you are going to be around a group of people. Let's say that you go to a grocery store, okay, or a mall or whatever.
Okay.
So you arm yourself. You put the Nexus Zapper on. It automatically turns on. You got the little flash red blinking light at that hertz. Then you have the iHercules, which is reversing the biological age and improving and boosting the immune system in the body. You're like double protected. You're covering their frequency, which is a low emission frequency that then leaches or sheds onto others that causes disruptions in their bodies, hence, women having, going into menstrual dizziness, people passing out and that type of thing that haven't taken the vaccine. With the Nexus Zapper and the iHercules, you're like double protected. So when you go around people And I would recommend that. And you know, and if people ask you, see, you're not offensive, see? So if people ask you, what is that? What is that on there? And you'll say, well, it eliminates the parasites, the bad parasites in my body. And since our bodies are so toxic with the atmosphere and everything, I wear this. And it really helps a lot with my immune system and everything. So, and now, also, if people say to you, you know, I think I made a mistake on taking this poke, this shot. I think I made a mistake. And you go, well, I've got a solution for that. I'm wearing it right here. And I also have another solution. You've got to boost your immune system heavy duty because of that injection. So I have something else that I can share with you that will do that naturally. So you're like double guarded on both ends, and then you can help people if they get curious and they want, you know, they talk to you and say, you know, I wish there was something I could do to counteract this vaccine I took because I think I made a mistake. So you're good.
Okay, and with the Zapper, I ordered 2 of them, and so you can actually just wear one of them and still get the same results, or do you have to wear both?
Yeah, you wear one. You wear one. It's not as potent. So if you do a crossway with one on each arm, then you're like Superwoman.
Okay. Well, I already feel like that doing the iHercules, so.
Yeah, I can tell by your voice. Your voice energy is really good. Really good.
I tell you, it's amazing. I think I've been on it for, probably 2.5, 3 months. And, I mean, I feel like I did when I was in my 30s, in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s. And so, and stuff is amazing.
I was going to say that I was going to say that the tone of your voice, I was guessing late 30s.
Yeah, and I'm going to be 60 this year, and people just cannot believe that, they just look at me and go, there's no way, So, I had enough. My daughter has taken it too, and I know I've talked to you about this before. She has a thyroid issue, and I know that the iHercules pretty much heals everything. The longer you take it and everything. And I can't wait to see her blood test when it comes back, as far as because she has medicine made for her Hashimoto's, and so the iHercules will help that, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not a question, not even a doubt.
Okay. And then one more question. We were really, my little granddaughter's first birthday is coming up in January or July, the end of July, and we were debating on having her first birthday party, but some of the, the family members have had the vaccine and stuff, and we were really worried about having them over, with the shedding, but she will be okay, because we can't put the zapper on her, but as long as we have the zapper, and, but she'll be okay because the baby.
Yeah, as long as you're in the vicinity, as long as you're, not on the other side of the yard or the house, and you're in proximity of her, then she'll be good.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that covers my questions. I thank you so much for everything that you do. You are awesome. And you have a great night.
You're awesome. You're awesome. Keep taking iHercules. Your energy is off the charts. It's great.
Like I said, I feel, half my age. So it's just wonderful stuff. So you have a great night. And
you too.
Much love to you. Okay.
215-7611, you're on.
Jared.
Yes.
Hello? Jared, how are you? I'm fine.
I'm doing great. How are you?
You sound great. It's a pleasure to connect with you. It really is.
Well,
I'm going to jump on this. Thank you. I'm going to jump on this iHercules train, and I'm going to order the I-hercules this weekend. But I have a question. My husband, they told him he has a leaky valve in his heart, and of course they want to go and, do open heart surgery and change the valve. And I was wondering, do you think the I-hercules would help him so he wouldn't have to go through that surgery? He's 77.
It cannot not.
Really?
Yeah, I figure it out. It's pretty much deductive reasoning. He's reversing the biological age of his body. So the body, actually, I-hercules helps the body heal itself. That's its purpose. So by reversing the biological aging, and it's not going to happen in 2 days, of course, but what will happen is that the tissues, his circulation, oxygenation, absorption, will start improving at a micro level as soon as he starts spraying it in the mouth. So as he consumes it and the body starts absorbing it and starts getting acclimated to what's going, oh, heck, what's this? This is great. So he cannot not reverse the aging of his body. So he will begin to reverse his biological age.
And that valve will stop leaking?
And so what will happen is that what I'm saying is that the body, as we all know, heals. But if the body gets to a certain age and it's aging, the older we get, the faster we age. So what happens is that his leaky valve, which basically means, I've seen what leaky valves do. The heart pumps and it pushes the blood through the main arteries and it spurts blood is what it does. So every time the heart pumps, the blood spurts. Some of them, my mother had leaky valve for 30 years. And she did good because I just didn't care to have them cut her, break her chest open.
Yeah, right.
And it's 77. That's a huge. It's always a trauma to the body, but it's a huge trauma on a 77-year-old body. Our healing abilities are not as good, so on and so forth. Complications can take place. So we try to do what we can to help the body heal the damaged area. The valve wears out, in some people. It can be diet, lifestyle, toxicity, or anything. So does it make sense that as the biological age reverses in the body and the body gets younger and it starts improving and it starts healing itself in areas and the stem cells go to damaged areas because the telomeres affect, it's a cascading effect. If the telomeres start getting younger, they affect the stem cells in the mitochondria. So at a micro level, the body starts healing itself. So because of certain things we can't say directly, so what we can say is that the I-hercules will help the body heal itself at a much more rapid pace. And so all tissues, how do you figure it out? How does one help the body heal itself to eliminate type 2 diabetes? How does it do that? Well, because of the reverse aging. So it helped. What did it do? The body healed the pancreas through the support of the I-hercules. So as the body started healing the pancreas, what happens? The insulin, the blood sugar balancing all starts to balance. And so they no longer have type 2 diabetes, and that's why. So if you look at damage in our bodies, they're wearing, tearing, different mishaps, and like him, wait and see. You see.
I asked his doctor, I asked his doctor, how does that happen? What is it, how does it start? And he said, well, he could have been born with it.
Maybe.
So if you are born with it, the I-hercules can still heal that? I know what you're saying.
It's a weak tissue. It's weakened. That's why it frays and then creates a hole. Okay? Because it's weak. The tissue is weak. How does the tissue weak? Could be it's lack of circulation, it's lack of oxygenation in the body. That can happen when you're born. Going down the birth canal. Just a little bit of squeezing here and there, and you don't know it till many years later. But for the most part, because of lifestyle, because of stress factors and everything, the tissue it wears out, okay, and it starts to malfunction. So with the leaky valve, that's what happens. Okay. So we now have the reverse aging process, so you can figure it out. The body's going to get younger, and it's going to have a much higher ability to heal itself. So what happens? Tissues get stronger. No difference. It's miraculous stuff.
Okay, I trust you. I want to do, get off right away. I don't want to take up too much time, but I do have two more quick questions. You had mentioned one phone call, a couple weeks ago, and you had recommended someone, you had a recommendation of taking psyllium, and I purchased it from HealthWorks. And I received it, but then I saw this warning on the back of it, and it said you can be, So like I don't know if I feel comfortable after reading that. Even though it's organic, it says you can be exposed to chemicals and lead. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know if I want to put that in my body, but I got it from HealthWorks. I'm sorry.
Yep, I use it every day, every single day. And my blood's toxicity level is almost nil. So
I should ignore that then.
They have to do it as a disclaimer, number one. Number two, it originates from India, so it's distributed here in the States. So they have to put that label on there because of the rules and regulations here in this country. So what it means is that minute trace particles are in everything.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I thought, yeah.
There's no way until we have the replicators that we can abolish that at this time. So they're absolutely microscopic, minute.
Okay.
So
I've been taking a lot of your recommendations. I've been going out and purchasing a couple of products that you recommended, and I'm using the eye drops, the MSM eye drops for cataracts. Yes. And I was just wondering, like, I'm faithful with it. I do it 3 times a day. But how long do you think? Like a couple months? Maybe I'll see some kind of improvement?
It depends. The floaters are the first thing you'll notice going away.
Okay. I have floaters.
Yeah, and so I'll give people an example, and this isn't really discussed. What happens is on the back of the eye, we have tissue degradation due to lack of circulation, due to the lack of microcirculation to the eyes. Through the years, the eyes start to deteriorate because they're not as oxygenated through the blood as they should be year after year. So when they become oxygen-starved, as we age, they start to harden. Now, those drops keep the eyeball soft, which is phenomenal, what does that do? It greatly reduces glaucoma, ocular pressure, which a lot of people experience as the body ages. Also, what does it do? Well, it helps the tissue actually breaks off the back of the eye, and it floats to the front. And that's why you'll see kind of like floaters, and then this kind of like it's not like the black floaters. It's kind of like a little bit of a film that starts floating around at times on the front of the eye, not all the time. And so, I had an optometrist tell me not too long ago. He says, everybody gets cataracts. Everybody gets cataracts. Now, the cataracts is actually tissue that the body releases, and it's released from the back of the eye, and then it breaks off and goes to the front of the eye, starts floating around, and through the air, the debris, the toxicity in our air, in our food, in our water builds up, and it starts accumulating. So it's like a piece of glue paper that starts attracting more debris. And then it'll start growing. And then as the eye gets drier and harder and less flexible and lower oxygenation, then it will form right over the lens cap, a natural lens cap on the eye. And so it clouds it over to the point where it gets to the point where you can't see. So
yeah, I have dry eyes too.
Yeah. And the dry eyes basically are due to lack of circulation also. So the I-hercules starts to improve all that, and you won't have, the dry eye will disappear. It's always about the blood, our circulation. It's always about the blood when we start having issues in different parts of the body. And the blood is the messenger highway, and if the blood's ill and toxic and thick and it's not oxygenated well, then it's going to cause issues all over the body.
Yeah, it does. And I even have high blood pressure, so I'm sure the I-hercules will help all that. Well, I can't wait to use it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's one of the ingredients in the I-hercules is juniper berry. And juniper berry has been tested over and over again to reduce vascular restriction, which causes high blood pressure. So you start to realize that some of these things in the I-hercules will help. I've had people tell me that their blood pressure has dropped so much that they're almost close to going off of their medication.
Oh, God. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Jared, I just want to thank you so much. You're wonderful. I love you.
Well, thank you. Much love to you.
Take care of yourself. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nancy Ann, what the heck you doing out there, young, teenage, vibrant woman?
I'm getting yelled at for being so full of energy.
Oh, well, what the heck?
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right? Yeah, I was thinking today, and listening to some of the comments tonight, I need to sit down and actually list everything that it's helped, because it's helped so many different things in my system, and you don't realize it lots of times until you hear somebody else's testimony. So it'll be interesting when I do it.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea, to just sit down, quiet area, take some good breaths in and out, and then just start writing what you feel in your body that's changing in a positive way.
And I think sometimes we don't notice because it's a slow progression, that we don't really pay attention to what's happening. And
that's exactly right.
Yeah, and there's been so much. I mean, the energy level, and also I'm getting more and more. I have more movement, a much greater range of movement.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had noticed that before, and I had a real bad spot on one of my legs where the spider veins were actually starting to turn into what do they call them? Those other veins with the step up that's really bad, that's painful and everything.
Oh, the varicose veins.
Varicose veins. All the spider veins are pretty much gone. I'm just now dealing with some things that look like varicose veins. So that's all improvement. It's slowly coming. The problem I've been dealing with now for about 10 years has really gotten so much better. It's at least 80% better. I actually have more problems with my eye wanting to flicker and move than I am the nerve that was creating all the problems. So it is healing. It is getting better. And for those out there going to a neurologist saying that we need to shoot you up with Botox, just get on the I-hercules, because I've been able to avoid all of that. And to me, it was horrendous. I had it done one time because it was so big, but you literally feel like your face is frozen. You can't. It didn't improve it. It's like a mountain. You start at the bottom and go up. You get to the top when you think, oh, gee, I feel good now, and then it immediately goes downhill. So the I-hercules has been a constant improvement. So it just really, and I try very hard to stay away from allopathic doctors. And my insurance company hates me because, of course, I'm older, and they want me to go get this done, and they want me to go get that done, and they want me to go see this doctor, and they want me to go see that doctor. I said, I'm not going. I just am not going because they'll come up with something. So, and since Glenn and I we're together for now, it'd be over 30 years, I start going, the minute something starts feeling in my system, I would go and pull my health books. And there's a husband and wife that wrote prescriptive medicine, and it tells you what vitamins are missing, when something's going wrong in your system, what vitamins you need, what minerals you need, what you need to do, if you need different things you need to increase. And I follow that for years and years and years, and actually stayed away from the doctors because I got faster results and much more longer lasting results by just doing it naturally. So I can just say that it's, from my life experience and for what I'm going through with iHercules, it's a miracle product. It really is. And anybody that's getting older needs to get on it. And especially if you're feeling, and I mean, I'm dealing with people around me who have sickness and they're not feeling good. Well, unfortunately, we can't force them to take it. I've suggested it, and sadly, I'm having to watch these people go through pain and everything else, but they won't listen. They won't go outside of the box because the insurance won't pay for it or something. So everybody's dealing with things going on, but when people see how much better you get, eventually, if they really believe that this is helping you, they're going to want it. They're going to have to say, well, how come you're getting better and I'm getting older and you're getting younger? What's going on here? And I noticed that. Yeah, and I've noticed with even Gabby, he continues to get better every day. It's a little bit, but, I mean, he's 21 years old and he can live to be 80, so he was probably getting up in his 60s with what was going on in his system. So now he's getting back to being I'm guessing if I put him into human years, probably about 25. So he's constantly improving. That noise you hear in the background that sounds like a whine, that's your buddy Gabby. He's whining. He's spoiled rotten. Yeah, he's whining. But he's doing much better, and what's so funny is to be able to see him to actually use his feet and hold on to things. Most people don't realize how strong their feet normally are. I mean, a bird will sleep on one foot, and that one foot will hold their entire system, and they just take that other little foot and they curl it up underneath them, and that's how they'll stay that way for hours and hours and hours. Now, I don't know many humans that can stand on one foot for hours and hours and hours, more or less even a few minutes. So just realizing that he's now able to use his feet has just been a real blessing. So.
Well, he's got to be pleased as punch.
Oh, he is, and he gets excited. Now he runs. He hasn't run in a long time, and he's funny because he of course decided that he owns the bed, and I'll look at him when he's being sassy, and I'll say, okay, go in the corner, and he'll go running back in the corner and hide behind the pillow and like peek out at me. Am I okay now? So he's, they've just got so much personality. Really, just his
feather growth. Didn't you say his feather growth is? He's getting new feathers in.
Oh, he's getting new feathers in, and they're more. He's sort of a coral color, so they're actually coming in a much stronger coral. I mean, the coral is brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brighter color, and it's just amazing. And the texture to the feathers, the texture in his feathers was getting really bad, and now it's going back to what I remember it when I first got him, when he was only like 3 years old. So it's making tremendous changes on him, and I'm going to have to eventually start putting the other bird on it because she went through some trauma. She was very sensitive, and my daughter had been upset about something, and she literally pulled out all her feathers, and now they're coming back slowly. But she has more feathers on her head than Gabby has on his whole body because she's a African gray. So their feathers some of them are not much bigger than the stick pins you put in that's got the little ball on it. A lot of those feathers aren't much bigger than the ball. So they have lots and lots of feathers. So but she is getting better. And the other day a snake had gotten into the house, and Gabby knew that it was, and he was screaming his head off, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And little did I know the snake actually squiggled behind me and got into the hallway and came down into my bedroom. And when I came down the hallway, I saw it get going in my bedroom. I'm back there telling her, we need somebody to get this snake. And finally, I got one of the guys here working and another lady who wasn't afraid of it. I was more afraid that it was going to go for the birds. And Charlie's sitting on top of her cage saying, "Oh, S." And she kept looking at that snake and going, "Oh, S." It was just unbelievable. It was so funny. It was one of those moments you should have filmed, and I didn't do it. I was sitting here watching Gabby and the dog that was in here because they were all scared. They were all afraid of it. So, but Charlie's watching it and swearing at it. It was so funny. But anyway, it was they're a barrel of laughs. They really, and it's amazing how much.
Oh, I bet.
It's how much they comprehend. So I just believe when we get on the other side of all this mess and all of our senses are stepped up, how much people are going to realize that these are wonderful beings, all of them, wild, whether they're wild, whether they're somebody's pets, and it doesn't matter what they are, dogs, cats, spiders, whatever. They all are sentient beings, and they all deserve the respect. And even the plants. I mean, I've talked to my plants, and I swear my staghorn fern, who I'm thinking is around 20 years old, she came back to life after I had left her in with some people to take care of her until I got settled and I moved. And when I went back to get her, she was dying. And within 24 hours of me taking care of her and telling her she's okay, she started coming back, and she's fully revived now, and she's covered with pups again. So, I mean, even plants know when they're loved, and it's just amazing. I mean, love is a healing is I think the strongest healing factor we've got. And
yes, it is. It's the most powerful because that's what we're made of anyway.
Yeah, and we need to express that, because the dark side can't take the love. That's like a punch in the gut for them, So we
keeping our frequencies high naturally through our heart minds. Basically, they at low frequency cannot be around us.
Oh, that's wonderful. I don't want them around anyway.
But it's only when we get angry and frustrated and irritable and we lower those frequencies, and then we become susceptible to all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies.
I do have a question for you. My daughter is getting so sentient. She is picking up on others' feelings. I mean, she walked in a room and somebody was having a pain, and she knew exactly where it was, and it was so strong she almost passed out. So is there any way she can protect herself against this, picking up on everything?
Yeah, she's got to be able to understand it, so she's got to spend time and basically focus on the now and sit somewhere where she can be not interrupted and be totally quiet and focus on her breath. That's as simple as it gets. And so that when she does that, she moves herself out of the ego mind and she helps herself with the heart mind. And then the actual soul or the God within her starts communicating with her. And so it's not when you realize that we all are empathic, but as the frequencies keep changing on the planet and the higher frequencies, some of us will become very accelerated with that. So all of a sudden we'll start realizing that, like her, someone with a pain in the next room goes in there and knows exactly where it is. But see, she doesn't know how not to absorb it. So she's absorbing it, so it's causing her issues. So that can happen with empaths, high sentience, which means that we're connecting more and more to the one, to everyone, to everything. So all around us, above us, below us, it's everyone and everything. So when we become that susceptible, it means that we're opening up to that which is within. Because that's where the sentient and that's where the empathic comes from, not outside. It comes from within. So it's the God force, the love light energy within us that starts surfacing more, but she's not connected with that aware, so that's why she has that blowback, so to speak, where it affects her physically or emotionally. When she picks up she's very empathic, sensitive. And a lot of us are, we just don't know it. So she's got to be able to understand that and embrace it so that it doesn't reverberate back into her.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll work on that because we've had quite a few miracles. She's had a lot of stress and has gone through a lot recently, and she's been learning to pray to her inner self. And she said, boy, because she likes to work with the people that have drug problems, and she was working 6-7 days a week, and they were just killing her. And she found a job closer to the house within 10 minutes. They only work 3 days a week, maybe 4 max. And now all of a sudden her workload has shrunk, but it's such a good place where she works. She can make more money in 3 days than she could working 6 and 7 at this other place. So she's able to go out now and do the volunteer work that helps her internally as well as helping others. So there's been a lot of blessings as help, and she is trying very hard to just stay positive and stay up. She says, I don't want to be around negative people. So she's picking up those vibrations from them too. So I'll get her to do what you said, and I'm sure it'll help both the empath feelings that she's having as well as some of these other things she's picking up on the negative, that she'll be able to at least protect herself from it.
Hallelujah.
Well, thank you, Jared. You're wonderful as usual, and I certainly appreciate
Thank you, Nancy Ann.
You're in our lives.
Much love to you and the family.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, guys, that's it for our reverse aging. I deeply love each and every single one of you, and I appreciate the time you spend with me because it's a joy for me. And that's why I do this, because it's my joy. And I can get as much information out as I possibly can because it's coming in breakneck speed.